Well, hello everyone. This is Making Sank here, first name May King, and you are watching the FOMO Creator Show. Now, today we have got the incredible Matt Hughes from King of Video fame with us. Now, it's actually a pre-record, so why don't I just go ahead and show you the recording? You're going to learn a great bunch of stuff from the fabulous Matt, and as with usually with my pre-records, I will be around. So if you've got any questions at all, if you want to add any comments, keep me company whilst this interview goes through, then please do. So I'll be available to talk to you on Instagram, or if you are watching from LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter. If you want to add a comment, we can definitely pop those up on the screen as well. Give yourselves a little bit of a FOMO promo, a bit of publicity. All right, well, let's get back onto the recording with my interview with Matt Hughes. You are watching the FOMO Creator Show. FOMO means the fear of missing out, and in business is a good thing. So if you want to know how to sell out your next festival, conference, digital challenge, your book, your product, your service launch, you have come to the right place. Now, today we are going to be talking to the incredible Matt Hughes from King of Video fame. So let's bring him up onto the screen. How are you, Matt?
Hello, I'm good. Well, I feel immediately inadequate, Making. Do you know why?
Why?
Well, because I've got a podcast, right? It's called YouTube Success. I've not put it in your slides. Totally forgot to mention it, right? But there you go. We mentioned it now. And I don't have an intro. And now I've just watched your intro. I'm like, oh my God, I need an intro. It was so good. Just sitting there dancing away in the green screen to your intro. So yeah, totally. It's immediately inadequate. I mean, I always feel like that when you do anyway, because you bring the energy. So happy to be here, of course. But
oh. Well, it's lovely to have you here, and with all of my guests, people that who are my friends, people I admire, I always like to ask them who they are, just so that we can introduce them and also how we met as well. So, Matt, who is Matt Hughes? Who is Matt Hughes indeed?
Hugh is Matt Hughes. I am Matt Hughes. I am the self-proclaimed king of video. The domain name was available, so I took it, and that's how I became king of video. And I help businesses with YouTube now. But I really, when I think about it, it's more about creating video content consistently and confidently. And I kind of moved it towards YouTube, but it's always the same sort of stuff: confidence, largely, consistency, accountability, strategy, that kind of thing. But it's all to do with video, hence the king of video.
Lovely. And also with the next segment of the show is how we met. As I say, I always like to bring in people that I really admire, people who are doing great things in their own industry, and people who are my friends as well. So do you remember the first time we met, Matt? I know that actually these next couple of slides don't describe the first time we met, but it's certainly one of the best times that we met, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think as we've discussed, Cambridge Social Day must have been the first day. I feel like there was something else. I mean, we've been at so many events together now. They all kind of merge into one, except for that top left, which is still one of my favorite things to happen. Do you want to tell the story, or shall we decide? Shall we go between us to tell the story?
Sure. Do you want to go ahead first?
Okay. Well, so when I go to events, I always attract those people that are drinking last, right? So I go to events and I'm like, who's going to be here at the bar at the end? Who's going to be a good person to drink with? And so, strangely enough, in the 2 pictures you've got of us, one of us is that must be Dublin. It must be in the Guinness store, and then
Yes.
the other one is from Dublin as well. But I try to find these people, and I always seem to find the good people, the best people that want to do stuff. And I remember at the end of Dublin, I was like, at the end of the event, I was like, who wants to go and do something else? Who wants to find somewhere else to drink? And it was just me, you, and Amanda that said yes. And where did we go, Making? What did we do?
We went to a silent disco.
Silent disco. You took my silent disco virginity. I'd never been to one before. And we found a wicked place in Dublin. I don't know if you remember that place, but I remember going in and it was like a really ram-packed bar downstairs. And then, oh, my camera's just died. Why is my camera just died? Do you know what? I've been on calls for 3 hours this morning and my camera's just decided, please don't do this. Oh, battery exhausted. Brilliant. Can you pause the recording, Making, or not?
Yeah.
I mean, just so I was talking about taking your, I was talking about you taking my silent disco virginity, and I think I've just taken your technical difficulty in StreamYard virginity because that just, well, we just found out that you can pause and continue recording in StreamYard. How amazing is that?
There we go.
Anyway, that place in Dublin was amazing. Wicked bar at the downstairs, and then upstairs it was just. Like going into somewhere that's a bar that's got loads of music on and then going in and it being completely quiet but loads of people singing in really bad pitch that's just an incredible experience. So thank you.
It was an incredible experience. No, you are welcome. Yeah, it was definitely a great time to be had. Now, with this segment of the show, I often like to talk about the ABCs of FOMO, starting with A, which is authentic authority. So, Matt, do you want to tell the world how you show up on the socials? How do you showcase your authentic authority?
So obviously YouTube Success is what I talked about, the podcast that I've got. And in reality, the reason why I started the podcast, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but I wanted to do something that would keep me accountable. And I thought, well, if I start the podcast, I can film it for my YouTube channel as well. So all the episodes on the YouTube channel, and it will just mean that I show up and do something every single week. So I've done that since October. We're on episode 24, something like that now. And it's really helped me stay accountable. And I know that should be really strange when I do YouTube stuff, but it's just really helped me move things forward. So I think there's a couple of ways in which I've got authority status. My YouTube channel is definitely one. I think that's the thing that every business should be doing. My podcast is another. And then, like most people choose a platform. I think you do really well on Twitter is a great example, or X as we should say now. Mine's Facebook for sure. And although I got told off on Facebook for linking to stuff the other day, I definitely show up 5 to 10 times a day on Facebook. So you constantly see new posts from me. I'm always really open and transparent about my business. I talk about the ups, the downs. I start some interesting conversations on there. I like to challenge the people I'm connected with. And I think that's, you've mentioned authenticity in that slide. And I think that's what makes it authentic is not doing the Instagram highlight reel that we know and hate. I think most people hate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And some of the discussions that you do share on Facebook, they can be quite raw, can't they? And some, honest, honest stories come out of the questions that you ask as well. So it's not just a case of showing up as an authority in video, but you show up as a person, as a human, who is doing great stuff, or making mistakes on business as well, which is is what I really, admire from you. And yeah, as I say, there have been some really interesting conversations that you've had as well on Facebook too.
Yeah, I mean, I do it. My wife doesn't like it. She's like, Matt, it'd just be better if you just had non-confrontational conversations. And I'm like, well, actually, I like to learn. I like to grow. I said something the other day. I said to somebody about being mumsy. And to me, mumsy is like the anorak mums, the mums that go into the place, a bit like when you're at school and, there's that like largely a group of girls that would get together and they would just chat gossip about each other. And I really hated that environment. I mean, I went to a boys' school, so it wasn't a group of girls, but there was still the gossipers, and when I went to take my kids to school, there was these what I call anorak mums that would get together and they'd just talk about the other parents. And so I said something about someone being one of those people, mumsy, the other day, and I lost a friend. I got kicked out of a Facebook group. All sorts of things that happened, right? And I was like,
wow.
Oh, she was like, please, can you not use that term or something like that in a negative context? And I was like, but it is negative. Like, it's gossiping women. I didn't mean it in a positive way. Like those people cause issues for normal people that are around them, I don't like people. It's like bullies, and it's just the same sort of thing, Have you ever seen the program Motherland?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's like Motherland is like the best example. Me and my wife love Motherland because it's just the best example of it. There's this busy mum who's trying to do stuff. She's got this husband that's not very supportive of her. He's always out drinking and sort of leaving her to it. And then there's like these different groups of people that you see that you meet at the school that you don't really like. You don't really want to be part of them, but there they are. Anyway, so I said this in the public, and I got slated for it, got kicked out of this group. And so I make mistakes. I apologized for it in that sense. I didn't apologize for saying it. I apologized for upsetting the person that received it in that way. I don't normally do that. I don't normally apologize. I kind of believe in being unapologetic and authentic. But in that instance, I was like, well, I didn't want to upset this person. That's not why I said it. It was more a point about the people. It wasn't the point about that particular person. So I was like, okay, I'll just apologize and we just move on. And that person accepted my apology and moved on. The other person decided to kick me out of the group and unfriend me. So how you deal with these conversations, I think, is really important. I think it's good to have not confrontational, but challenging conversations, but just be really respectful of what other people think, and how they talk about this stuff. Like, you don't have to fall out about it. You can just actually say, I agree to disagree, or I don't have to prove you wrong for me to be right. Like, we can just be grown-ups about it. But some people don't deal with things like that.
Now, the next segment of the show is BTS. No, I don't mean this K-pop global sensation. I mean behind the scenes. So, Matt, let's talk a little bit about you behind the scenes. What do we have here? It's a bit meta, this, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it said, like, can you take a picture of my studio? And I was like, come on, Making. I am not going to show you my full studio because, to be honest with you, it's a mess. My wife came in today because I was doing a workshop today, and she was like my mum, she was like, you're going to clean this room? And I was like, no. She said, it's all clean behind you, though. And I said, yeah, because that's in the shot. I said, round the other side, they don't need to see that. It's a bit like a Hollywood film, you see all the good stuff. Behind it, there's like 50 people, and it's all a mess, all drinking coffee or whatever. Do you remember the Starbucks cup on Game of Thrones? It was in one of the shots.
Yes.
Yes. That kind of thing happens, but it's usually just out of shot. So, no, this is the view of the studio that you get. It's behind the scenes. Look, I opened all my drawers when I was trying to find my battery, and then now you saw it in real life. I think BTS is really important. Again, not the K-pop group, although they are important to some people. But I think BTS showing the real side of what goes on is really important. I think that's probably why, for most of us, and I bet most of the people that you've had on this show, that's why people follow them, is because they show the sort of warts and all view of real life and business and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the next segment of the show is create content for the lurkers. So, Matt, I know that we all have lurkers on the socials. That's why we keep posting our content onto the socials. And then when the time is right for them, they will slide into our DMs. So, Matt, how do you create content for your lurkers? What do we have in this screen?
How do I create content for the lurkers? So these are my socials. I'm Real King of Video on all the socials. I still think Facebook is my main one. But I'm trying to create content where people feel compelled to engage. And that includes the lurkers. And I would like to think that actually the majority of people that connect with me are not lurkers, that they do speak up. In fact, I've got, I don't know if I've told you, but I've got a mastermind called Secret Success Club. And one of the women I met at the big festoon, you know, Danny's event, Danny Wallace event. It's great event. And I spoke to her about it, and she was like, "Oh, Matt, you know, I come to the calls, and I'm a lurker. I don't think she had a camera on very often either." And she was like, "But I just have a bit of imposter syndrome. I don't feel like I can add some good value to the conversation." And so what we did is we changed the mastermind to be like a format where everybody had to say something. You did like your word of the week, so everyone has to talk. And I think we did that because of the lurkers, because I think you want to try and encourage people to show up and say things, because actually on this particular instance, this woman was running an agency. She was, you know, an expert in her area. Like, it blew my mind that someone would just lurk and not get involved when she clearly had loads of expertise. And since we've got her involved, she now feels more comfortable. She shows up, she shares stuff all the time, and it's really, really valuable. So I think anything you can do and anything you can share to bring those people out of themselves a little bit and get involved, I think that's where you're going to win with all of those ABCs that you shared, actually.
Absolutely. So this was part way through the YouTube planning workshop you were talking about.
No, well, that was in my SSC, but the planning workshops was like a different one. It's really funny because I got destroyed on the internet for this as well, because I was so open and honest about it. I put the planning workshop out there, and I used some fake scarcity, and this person, another person who look, the best thing you can do is get people off the fence, right? I think that's the point. They sit on the fence, and you don't want people to sit there and not decide whether they're going to work with you or not. You want to push them off the fence. You can just imagine now someone pushing them over the fence. But you need to move them. Like, people are not going to do anything if they're sat on the fence. So sometimes it's good just to do stuff and get them off the fence. And so I use this fake scarcity, and I explained, I was like, look, we've got this workshop. There's 12 spaces on this workshop. It's a free workshop. Come and register for it. And then I went and told everybody that, like, I'm trying to get 100 people into the workshop and sell some stuff to them, blah, 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 right? And she was like, well, if there's only 12 spaces, how are you going to get 100? And I was like, well, we're going to repeat it often. I said, but in reality, there's not really 12 spaces. I don't have any way of limiting the space. It's just a meeting on Zoom. And she was like, well, that's so fake then. And I was like, well, it's not really, is it? Anyway, long story short, she's not my friend on Facebook anymore. It sounds like I'm losing friends all the time. I added 25 new ones this week, making. But the thing I learned about that, right? You learning things all the time. I went and asked my community. I said, "Oh, what do you think about fake scarcity? Here's what I did. Here's what I was doing. Here's how I'll show up. I don't believe in like selling things with fake scarcity, but if it's free, I think you can bend the rules slightly. It's all contextual anyway." And my audience, the wall that I've created of all these wonderful people came back and gave me all this information. And as I read through all these posts of what people said, I was like, okay, these are my people. I've pushed all the others off the fence. They've ran off and ran away and found some other good person to follow. Now I've found the people that I connect with that work with me really well. And they understand that I'm not trying to be a spammy guy or mislead people or be deceiving. I'm just trying to get people to move off the fence. And when they do, and they choose that it's me that move towards, 9 times out of 10, I help them take the next step to the thing that they need. And those people that commented were definitely people that were like, yeah, Matt, you've definitely helped me take the next step and get to the thing that I needed. And sometimes when you did it, it was uncomfortable, and you said, you know, you told me the truth and I didn't like hearing it at the time, but actually, but I needed it. I needed to move.
Absolutely love that. Now, the next segment of the show is probably best described by this next video.
Man,
Back to the FOMO! Do you like that, Matt?
Oh, that was so good. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm the video guy. What is going on with these cutscenes, the music? Like, I need some of this stuff in my life. Back to the FOMO. It's brilliant. Go on, what is it? I don't know what this segment is. Tell me, Making.
Well, you've got an incredible conference coming up, haven't you? Tell us more about Tube Fest.
So Tube Fest is an idea where when I was at Social Media Marketing World a year ago, I was like, I should do a conference just like this. You know, you've had a few too many beers and you think, oh, that sounds like it would be a good idea. So I think I found out that I registered the domain when I was there. I looked at the domain. It was like, you need a renewal. And I'm like, what? I've only just started the conference. How do I need a renewal? It was in March. It was in March last year. So I decided to do it. And then I had the best summer of my life last year. And I was like, no, I'll do it in 2025. You know, I'll wait, that kind of thing. And then got to October last year. And I was like, no, that's it. I'm going to set my intention. I'm going to do it in 2024. Went to Vid Summit in the US in Dallas. And my purpose there was to find some speakers, find some sponsors. I managed to find Nick Nimim, who's almost at 1 million subscribers, Austin Armstrong, who's got like 700,000 subscribers on every platform. And they both were like, Matt, if you do it, I'm there. And I was like, look, guys, I don't think I can afford you. They were like, Matt, if you do it, I'm there. So I was like, okay, cool. Then I met a sponsor and we were drinking as well. And I said to him, how much will you pay to sponsor my event? And he told me, and I was like, okay, that's exactly how much it's going to be. And so that's how I got my sponsorship fees. And he's coming now as well. He's from Atlanta. So it was really, strangely enough, you know, they say you shouldn't make decisions when you're drinking, but actually, I thought, just what's the worst that can happen if I do it? What's the worst that can happen if I put it on? And if you look at the speakers there, just an absolutely phenomenal set of speakers. And probably for anyone that's watching this, that looks at that speaker lineup and says, I don't know many of those speakers, the answer to that is good. Because I want you to come and see some of these speakers and be blown away and go, I did not know Justin Evans, that guy with his cap on, has got 2 million subscribers. I didn't know Craig is an SEO expert. What the hell is he doing at a video marketing conference? And he'll just absolutely blow you away. He's definitely a Marmite speaker. He's a Scottish guy. He's a potty mouth like I am. And he's got the most fascinating story about his life, really. It's really interesting. So there's some just wonderful people on there as well. Some people I really respect in the industry. And I'm so excited for this first event that we've got and put together.
And when is the big day?
So it's May 23rd, which at the time of recording this is 6 weeks and 6 days. Not that I'm counting. Sorry, 5 weeks, 5 weeks and 6 days. Jeez. So it really is coming fast. You know, when we did it and we were like 6 months away, I was thinking, oh, we've got loads of time to plan this. You know, it'll be no problem at all. But actually, we're just really close to it now. You know, I'm really excited. We've got an after party as well, which clearly in this FOMO session, we've realised that Matt likes a party. So very excited about that. And I think the great thing about the after party is like it's good for everybody. A few people have mentioned it when they've bought tickets. You know, I like going to events, but we never really get a chance to network or anything like that. And so I'm really glad you've put an after party on. But also, but I want it as well because as the organizer, you know, the day before we've got the speaker dinner, and then we've got the event itself. There's quite a lot going on. And although I've got a small team around me, I just wanted a way to celebrate that actually this stupid drunken decision that I made in 2023 has led to this wonderful event that we've been able to create. And so, yeah, I'm just really excited about it, actually.
So we've got an after party. We've got an incredible lineup of speakers who are talking about various aspects to do with video. But what else can people expect on the day, and where is it going to be held?
So it's in Birmingham, a lovely place called the Eastside Rooms. It's a hotel conference centre that opened during lockdown. So it's a really new, top of the range venue. And what I realized is that a lot of creators don't understand business. They don't know how to make money being a creator and living in their passion. They're just really passionate about the content that they're creating. And then a lot of business owners don't know how to be creators. They're very entrepreneurial. They understand the business, the numbers, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to creating content, they're like, oh my God, stick me in front of a camera. I can't actually look at the camera. I've got no confidence, anything like that. So I've put 2 tracks on. So there's a business track, a creator track. My idea is to bring those 2 groups of people together, and then the magic should happen, because really the creators need to understand that they can make a lot of money out of their passion, and the business owners need to know that actually the best way to market their business is to become creators, be the face of their brand, and get their business out there on the socials. And as I mentioned, the speakers that I've got are some of the best people in the world to learn that stuff from.
Fantastic. Well, Matt, it's been absolutely incredible talking to you. You can go and grab your tickets now on tubefest.live. Join myself and Matt, Louise Brogan's there, Ian Anderson Gray, the fabulous Andrew and Pete, Nick Nimmin. Who else have we got in the lineup? A whole host of other people, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some people there like Robin who. Actually, Robin went on Ali Abdul's podcast the other day, and he was telling me that he did this podcast. Ali Abdul's got 4 million subscribers or 5 million subscribers now. He's a doctor turned YouTuber. And Robin was like, Matt, I've got 150 grand's worth of business overnight from that podcast. And
wow.
That's the kind of power you can have when, don't get me wrong, Robin is a phenomenal coach. He really is like top of his game. So I'm not surprised when you watch him for 2 hours. They did like the deep dive thing that Ali does. Not surprised that he would get that much business, because it's clear he knows what he's doing. But still, that's the power of video marketing, to put somebody on a platform and be around Ali and Dario, the CEO, and all those people that are doing this kind of stuff on YouTube. It just shows what amazing stuff. And the other thing about the speakers, the thing that I like, is that they're all just normal human beings. They'll sit and spend time with you. They'll be sitting watching the sessions just like you are. They'll be trying to get the information as well. There's not going to be any we've got a green room that you can't get to them. They're too big to talk to. They'll actually be there at the party. I asked them all. I was like, who needs the extra hotel room for the night? Because we've got them for the party if you come in. And everyone's been like, yeah, I'm definitely coming. So you definitely get a chance to mix and chat to them and get some free consultancy out of them at the after party.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again for your time, Matt. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to get your tickets on tubefest.live.
Wasn't that absolutely amazing, folks? I've got 23 joining us live here today, which is incredible. This is a new record, which is great. We've had some great discussions on Instagram. A lot of Matt's earlier messages about having honest and real and raw conversations really resonated with some people on Instagram. And I think that, social media has had the reputation of polarizing people, and people get cancelled on a whim, because they posted something and haven't sought to find out the context in which the post is written. So I think that it was a great conversation piece at the start. But wasn't it great to hear from Matt to show that despite him being cancelled, he's also made a lot of friends as well. And I think the real message that we can learn from him is that we just had to post more and share more and engage more. He has encouraged his team to. Oh, I've got an alarm coming up. Hang on a tick. This is all going live. Let me just switch the camera. Oh, sorry about that. So yes, what I was saying was, through Matt, he's been really encouraging people to come out of their shell, and by continuing to create content for the lurkers, he's been encouraging people to create content for their lurkers as well. And so I hope that with my FOMO Creator Show, by talking about the ABCs of FOMO, I hope that I get to encourage you also to create content for your lurkers, because if you don't create content in the first place, and people won't know what amazing businesses you have, will they? Now, talking about amazing businesses, it's now time for FOMO promo. This is where this is where I always like to let people, if they're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, or the platform formerly known as X, if you want to write a little sentence, let me know what it is you do so that I can tell the world and also here live about what you do, just to give you guys a bit of free FOMO promo, a bit of free publicity. Now, unfortunately, at the moment, I can't bring up the the Instagram comments up. So that's a bit of a shame. But if I can just scroll through whilst we'll wait for people on LinkedIn and X and Facebook to let me know what it is that you do, just so that I can give you all a bit of FOMO promo. I'll just read through a few of the people that have joined us live today. So we've got the fabulous Real Daisy Amore, and Real Daisy Amore on Instagram. She is a real creative. She likes to create things out of lots of fabrics and stuff. So at the moment, she keeps chasing me because I keep forgetting that I actually want her to create something for me as well. But she creates handbags, hats, badges, scrunchies, all sorts of things. And if you've got something particular you want creating, you really want to get in touch with her. We've also got Scarlet Impressions as well, again on Instagram. Scarlet Impressions is a fabulous, talented lady. She makes lots of creations out of glassware. Isn't that incredible? And I saw recently that she has straws that are made out of glass, which is incredible. So we're doing away with all the plastic straws, which is great, but paper straws are a bit. So why don't you potentially look at buying a glass straw? It's really with toughened glass, but with some real incredible creations. And she has a whole host of other stuff as well. So that's Scarlet Impressions. We've got Finbo _studio. Now, Finbo _studio, she's actually my guest for next Thursday, actually. But the fabulous Kate Hendry from Finbo _studio. She has an incredible branding agency, and she's actually collaborated with some photographers so that we all, as business owners, need to see ourselves as a brand. And a brand is way more than just a logo. So that's a little insight into what we're going to be talking about next week. But do go and have a look at Finbo _studio and her stuff on Instagram. You'll be really inspired by what she does. We've also got the fabulous Middle Ground Theatre Company as well. Middle Ground Theatre Company are a theatre company, funnily enough. And they've just written a new piece called Dial M for Mayhem, and that's going out in theatre companies up and down the country. I think it's in August. I can't wait to hear more from them. So that's Lynette from Middle Ground Theatre Company. We've also got Rose Horowitz, 31. She is a Pulitzer nominated journalist and does incredible content for women. So if you want to be inspired by women and have a look at women that you want to follow, then definitely go and follow Rose Horowitz 31. Okay, I think that's everybody on Instagram. If I've missed any of you out, Classic and Craft is a local lady who is in the beer industry. She makes beer. How cool is that? So she's local to me in Chesterfield. So I think that's everybody. If I've missed any of you, do write a comment and let me know what it is you do. Let's go on to the fabulous LinkedIn. We've got the fabulous Bramble Down Designs. They are a pop artist. Simon with a Y is a pop artist working in the Comic-Con industry. We work all over the country, from Cornwall to Aberdeen, and I'm currently doing commissions for the RPG industry as well. That's very exciting. Now, his logo is actually Jimi Hendrix. That's been reimagined as an Andy Warhol piece. I love it so much. I actually bought his T-shirt because I love Jimi Hendrix. I think he is incredible. So do go and have a look at Bramble Down Designs. Lots of stuff, lots of pop art. I've bought a few pieces from him, stickers, postcards, mugs, T-shirts, the lot. And he does commissions as well. And talking about Fimbo Design, so she's actually swapped from Instagram to LinkedIn. Good girl. And Kate Hendry from Fimbo Design, she said she's looking forward to being on the show next week. Thanks for the shout out. You are very welcome. And Bramble Down Designs, Simon with a Y, is also saying thank you as well. And we also had earlier on Twitter the fabulous Howard Cheng, still sunbound. So he is an incredible photographer. And if you just look at his, he does a lot of travel around Europe, Japan, and he just captures some beautiful images. But he has actually captured beautiful images in the Comic-Con industry as well. So you might want to connect with him, perhaps. Simon with a Y, with Howard Cheng, who is on Instagram and X as Still Sunbound. Howard Cheng on LinkedIn as well. So I'm sure that he'll be able to get some fabulous images whilst you are on at Comic-Con. So I think that's everybody. So I know a lot of you are watching on X, which is great to see, but you are lurking at the moment. I don't know who you are. So if you're brave enough, why not drop me a DM and let's have a chat. Let's get to know each other. It'd be lovely to hear from you. And let's talk about my FOMO promo, shall we? This has been proving quite popular, which is the FOMO Hour Surprise. Now, the FOMO Hour Surprise is a surprise because it's 90 minutes with me, not 60. And what I do is I actually go through your business and see what you're currently doing on the socials and see how we can improve, how we can get you to generate more content for the lurkers. So in fact, Kate Hendry from Fimbo Designs, she's actually taken advantage of my FOMO Hour Surprise, and we came up with a whole bunch of ideas for her up and coming launch. I've had lots of other people, from artists to pet businesses, event organizers, theatre companies as well, who have taken up on my FOMO Hour Surprise. Now, It's a surprise because it is normally £175, but it is £100 for SBS winners. Now, if you don't know what SBS is, it is Small Business Sunday. It is the brainchild of Theo Pathetis from Dragon's Den fame, or Shark Tank if you're based in the States. And he has this fabulous community called Small Business Sunday. And you can enter a competition. If you win, you become part of the SBS community. And the SBS community are so supportive of each other. However, if you're not an SBS winner, don't worry, because if you've been watching us today, which I know 25 of you have been today, then you can take advantage of my FOMO Hours prize for the fabulous price of £125. So if you want to know how you can create FOMO for your business, then please do slide into my DMs and let's talk FOMO. Now, other thing I do want to talk about is as well, do save this date in your diary, November the 13th. In Chesterfield, I'm going to be running my first event, which is going to be called Hype Your Business Live, HYB Live. And basically, in a similar vein to you creating FOMO, we want to generate that buzz. We want to generate that excitement. We want to help you generate your hype on the socials. And so I'm going to be having a whole host of great speakers, great panelists. There's going to be opportunities for networking as well. I will be telling you more about it as we get more information. Just talking to a web designer to get my website all up and running at the moment, but I will be banging on about this event. It's my first one. I'm nervous, but it's going to be great. We're going to have some amazing speakers from all walks of life talking about how they create hype and how you can also create hype too. So that's it, folks. I just want to thank you all for joining in live. I hope that you enjoyed our interview today. If you've got any questions at all, do go to slide into my DMs and ask me the question. Do connect with Matt Hughes, of course. He is the video king, of course. And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and as I get to my end credits, good night.